for taking time off from your busy schedule to be here this morning. A warm welcome to all the panelists for this event and look forward to exciting exchanges and interactions from all participants. The areas for discussion and introspections range from the link between climate change and women's health, experiences of women, farmers,
This is the day ordaining this day to conduct the International Conference on Climate.
Sister, music conveys a lot more than what just words cannot. I invite Dr. Anbumani, President, Pasma Thayagam NGO, to felicitate our Principal and Sister Secretary.
And alumni of this college.
Thank you. I now invite Sister Secretary FNL to felicitate Dr. Anbumani, President, Pasma Thayagam NGO. On behalf of everyone present here, I am delighted to introduce our chief guest of today, Dr. Anbumani Ramadoss, a three-time Member of Parliament and a current member of the Rajya Sabha. Sir has served as the Union Cabinet Minister of Health and Family Welfare from 2004 to 2009, completing his education at Montfort Boys Higher Secondary School, Yerka, undergraduation from Madras Medical College. Sir pursued a course on Introductory Macroeconomics from the London School of Economics in the year 2003. During his tenure as the youngest minister, Dr. Anbumani established several institutions, including the Public Health Foundation of India, Department of Health Research, National Institute of Communicable Diseases, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, and the Traditional Knowledge Digital Library. Notably, he initiated the 108 emergency ambulance scheme across India, addressing various health emergencies. Sir's passion on the subject of environment has been demonstrated through his participation in the Chennai Run, held to raise awareness about the impact of climate change and importance of declaring climate change emergency to combat the rapid changes in climate seen around the world. Sir has also led a number of protests to highlight environmental degradation and to promote environmental sustainability. Sir launched the National Rural Health Mission in 2005, which is recognized as the largest This mission significantly reduced maternal mortality rate and infant mortality rate by over 65% in the 15 Dr. Anbumani Ramadoss garnered international acclaim with General Secretary of the United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, referring to him as a public health champion. Sir's achievements include the ban on smoking in public places, compulsory pictorial warnings on tobacco products, and the prohibition of vodka consumption nationwide. In recognition of his efforts, Dr. Anbumani has received multiple international awards, including the Luther L. Terry Award by the American Cancer Society in 2006, the World Health Organization's Director General's Special Award for Exemplary Leadership and Tobacco Control in 2007, and the Polio Eradication Champion Award from Rotary International in the year 2007. Additionally, Sir was honored at the Rotary International's Polio-Free Conclave in 2014 for his contributions to eradicating polio. We offer our immense gratitude to you for being our chief guest and are honored to be having you amongst us today, sir. Bless our students so we follow your footsteps and become future leaders. Over to you, sir, for the presidential address.
Thank you, ma'am, for a great introduction. Respected Principal, Stella Maris College, Dr. Stella Mary. Respected Head of Department Sociology and Director, Gender Center, Dr. Maria Agnes Sasita. You're very popular. Respected Secretary, Stella Maris College, Sister Anita Gonzalez. President, Pasumay Thayam, Dr. Soumya Anbumani. Respected professors of this very prestigious college, staff, and my dear students, I wish you all a very good morning, and I'm very happy to be here amongst you in creating awareness on climate change, climate justice, gender equality, a very, very important subject, the need of the hour. And I'm very thankful to Dr. Sasita for conducting this wonderful conference, her leadership in showing not only this conference but all the other issues pertaining to sociology and social issues. Sociology is very close to me, not only as a subject, but as a concept. As a subject, my mother-in-law was a sociologist. My wife is a sociologist. In fact, she is an alumna of this college. And my daughter is studying sociology in this college. On the social issue, that's where my party and I stand for. I work, my full-time job is to have social justice for the underprivileged section of society. Today's issue of climate change is directly linked with social issues. And when we say linked with gender equality, I like to, before I go on to awareness on these issues of climate change, I like you to see just a 5-minute video. We have started this conference on a very positive note. And first you need to know what is climate change. Without knowing what is climate change, there's no point in going further and discussing about gender equality or inequality, how climate change is affecting equality, gender, all these things. First, you have to know what is climate change. Can you Play the video, please. the video. The uniqueness of this video is that all these events, climate extreme events, happened last year. Just last year. And there were more than 100 climate extreme events which happened last year alone. But I've just shown you nearly about 15-20 of them only. And in these 15-20 of them events, nearly 7,000 people died. And more than about 1 billion people were displaced. The cost of only these events, extreme events, was about $250 billion. Can anybody say India's budget last year? How much was India's budget last year? I'm going to ask questions now and then to you, sounding like a professor. Approximately 45 lakh crores. And just these events alone costs the world nearly about 22 lakh crores. Approximately half of India's budget, annual India's budget. And these events are only a few which have selected. Last year alone, America experienced 18 severe extreme events, and the total loss for them was about $160 billion, which amounts to about 12 lakh crores approximately. So this is a phenomena which is happening and which is going to happen with a lot of intensity, severity, and the most people affected are going to be women and children. So you have to get sensitized of what is climate change and what are we going to do, what should be done today. All these extreme events are happening because the Earth's average temperature has increased by just 1.2 degrees centigrade. When I say just, you can all say, oh, 1.2 degrees centigrade is nothing. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, the Earth's average temperature was 14 degrees centigrade, till man and modernity came into existence. Till about 150 years ago, it remained at 14 degrees centigrade on an average Earth's temperature. After the Industrial Revolution by the Western world, it increased by 1.2 degrees. Today it is 15.2 degrees centigrade. Just this 1.2 degrees increase of temperature is showing Mother Earth is giving us a signal. Slow down. The Earth is getting warmer, and I don't like it. The message Mother Earth is giving us, I think we have to listen to it. And India is one of the most affected countries in the world because of climate change and global warming. Even though the amount of pollution from India is less compared to other countries, per capita pollution. As a country, pollution is high, but per capita, down to the population, you can see it is on the lower level. But coming back to why this is all happening, what is global warming, what is climate change? And have any of you heard about greenhouse gases? Okay. Have any of you heard about greenhouses? Cinema la paathitingala. Greenhouses na, see, earlier in the cold countries, they used to call it a hot house or a glass house, where they grow plants in extreme temperatures. The temperature is regulated inside the house. House na or facility. Glass mari So that is the greenhouse. So greenhouse gases, what greenhouse does is it maintains the temperature. Even Earth has a lot of greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases are it's carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, chlorofluorocarbon, CFC, ozone, HFC, all these things. These are greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases is a must for the survival of Earth. Greenhouse gases, the Earth's temperature will be minus 17 degrees centigrade or Fahrenheit. You can't live in Earth. So Earth needs these greenhouse gases for protection. And what this greenhouse gas does is, it completely surrounds the Earth. The sun's rays, not only the rays, the heat comes to Earth. And then enough of heat is absorbed by the Earth, the rest is emitted back. So when it's emitted back, these greenhouse gases make sure these are emitted back. In the last 150 years ago, this greenhouse gas has increased. Carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, all these increased. And so what happens is the sun's rays and heat is not reflected back. It's getting trapped inside the Earth because of the increase of greenhouse gases. That's global warming. This is your life, and these issues are going to affect you and your future generation. Your children, your grandchildren, all of them are going to be affected if we don't take action today. Because our generation is the only generation who could act. We can't leave this for the next generation to act because by then it's going to be too late. Adithanar, you need to know what is it. Konjam more you try subject that. Adithanar konjam தெரிஞ்சுக்கங்க. ஏன்னா வீட்டுக்கு போய் அப்பா கிட்ட சொல்லுங்க, வீட்டில் சொல்லுங்க, ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் கிட்ட சொல்லுங்க, டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுங்க. வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப்ல சினிமா மட்டும் இல்லை, இதெல்லாம் போடுங்க. போர் அடிச்சாலும் பரவாயில்ல, போட்டு create an awareness. Because I see you all as brand ambassadors to save our beautiful planet Earth. It is all our responsibility. So, அதனால ஏன் greenhouse gas அதிகமாயிடுச்சுன்னா because of burning of fossil fuel. Fossil fuel என்ன தெரியுமா? Fuel they get under the petrol, diesel, LPG, natural gas, all fossil fuel. And இது burn பண்ணி power generation, அதுக்காக burn பண்ணிருக்காங்க. For transportation they burn it. So at the burn these fossil fuels. The fossil fuels are hydrocarbon. Just got hydrogen atom and carbon atom. Methane, propane, butane, all hydrocarbons. I don't want to sound like a chemistry or a physics professor, but either having what hydrocarbon, greenhouse gases, fossil fuel. So when we burn these things, right, it goes to the atmosphere, and then you have this effect of global warming. And so once it warms, in the video part effect, and these events are going to be very, very extreme. Have any of you heard of a concept called permafrost? Permafrost is an area in Russia, Siberia. Siberia is one of the coldest places on Earth. Russia, India, the punishment for Serbia country. And the Serbian cold, nobody can put up with the cold like that. And the permafrost is what soil and ice mixed together. People off late, because of global warming, that permafrost is melting. Because of that melting, a lot of organisms like virus or bacteria which has been trapped 50,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, during the ice age, now are getting exposed. And once it gets exposed, now we are going to see newer diseases coming because of climate change. COVID, earlier in COVID, we had a concept called SARS in 2002. And then in 2012, we had MERS, Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome. and then 2019. So every 10 years we have some outbreak of diseases, and I see this directly linked to climate change. அடுத்தது என்ன ஐயோ பயமா இருக்கு நினைச்சு பார்க்கல. இதுவே 3 வருஷம் உள்ள உட்காந்துக்கிட்டு என்ன பண்ணணும்னு தெரியாம பண்ணணும் கோவிட். அதனால because of climate change these things happen. Again, who is affected? The women and children are affected. And they don't have any role in policy making, in agenda making, for the women. There is a meeting to the United Nations is spearheading this movement against climate change, global warming, to at least bring it down the emission level, bring down the usage of fossil fuel. How we have support United Nations. But nobody is listening. The biggest polluter is America. 24% of the global pollution emission is by America. 24. America போயிருக்கீங்களா? நியூயார்க் போயிருக்கீங்களா? யாராவது மேன்ஹாட்டன் பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா? நைட்டில் பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா? பியூட்டிஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும், ரொம்ப அழகாக இருக்கும். பெரிய பெரிய பில்டிங்ஸ் இருக்கும் மேன்ஹாட்டனில். ராத்திரியில் பார்த்தோன்னா எல்லா பில்டிங்கும் லைட் எரியும், ஆனால் யாரும் உள்ள இருக்க மாட்டாங்க. 24 hours 365 days லைட் எரிஞ்சுட்டு தான் இருக்கும். சாட்டர்டே சண்டே நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எல்லா பில்டிங் லைட் எரியும். அவங்களுக்கு என்னன்னா அழகாக இருக்கணுமா? Can you imagine how much of electricity, energy is spent for this? I would like to call it a foolish thing to do. வேலைக்கு போ, லைட்டை போட்டு போ. இல்லாத டைமில் போயிட்டு ஏன்னா இந்த கான்செப்ட் மேன்ஹாட்டன் அந்த கான்செப்ட் கொண்டு வரணும்னு, like there are so many things like this is happening out there. Coming back to the video, இந்த வீடியோ பார்த்தா இது நான் ரொம்ப மோசமான வீடியோ தான். ஐ டென்ட் வாண்ட் டு ஷோ இட். அவ்வளோ மோசம். அந்த வீடியோவில் கடைசி 3 ஸ்லைட் பார்த்தீங்களா? சிஸ்டர் கூட பார்த்து சிரிச்சாங்க. பார்த்து இந்த ஸ்லைடு நம்ம காலேஜ் ஸ்லைட், உங்கள் காலேஜ் ஸ்லைட். யூ ஆர் அஃபெக்டட், யூ ஆர் டைரக்ட்லி அஃபெக்டட். அமெரிக்கா, ஆஸ்திரேலியா, ஜப்பான், பெரு, சிலி, அதெல்லாம் இருக்குது. யூ ஆர் அஃபெக்டட். And you are going to be affected more and more in the days to come, in the years to come. And when I say you, your family, your offspring, everything, we need to create a lot of noise on this. What can I do? I am an individual. You are not an individual. You have your college here, you have your friends here. Make noise. Make noise so that it reaches the government and government does policy changes. That's our job, that's your job. In fact, as a NGO, we are doing that, trying to make noise everywhere. And these extreme events, like imagine China, a dust storm usually. Desert, usually Sahara Desert is the biggest dust storms. It goes on for days, some goes on for months. China, capital Beijing city, you get a dust storm affecting 400 million people. Imagine what's happening. Imagine Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, average rainfall of Tamil Nadu is 950 millimeters. That's 95 centimeters a year. Or Vashashiti pair on that. Suddenly, about in 2016 or 17, I'm not sure. There's a place called Avilanchi in Ooty, near Ooty. That's 9-11 millimeters of rain it had. It's called cloud burst. And a lot of things were destroyed. Homes were destroyed, crops were destroyed. But we didn't know about it. It happened here and there. Last year, December, in Thoothukudi, there is a place, I don't know everybody, Kayalpatnam in Thoothukudi, 95 centimeters of rain, 950 millimeters of rain. Average rainfall of Tamil Nadu, one வருஷத்துக்கு மழை அந்த காயல்பட்டத்தில் ஒரு நாள் rain. If it happens in Chennai, imagine what will happen. Can it happen in Chennai? It definitely can happen in Chennai. Chennai, we had 35 centimeters in parts of Chennai. So, every one of us are affected. And when I say not only range of floods, extreme temperatures, like I said, droughts. Droughts in Spain last year. I'm just talking about last year. When I talk about the last decade, you could see the year events, extreme events, lots of events happen worldwide. But this time, just talking 1 year, just last year. 2023 is the hottest year ever recorded in history. Hottest year. We are moving into Mother Earth is really annoyed with us now. சொல்லி பார்த்தது ஒழுங்கா நடந்துக்குங்க யாரும் கேட்குற மாதிரி இல்லை. Then it starts its work. சரி வார்ன் பண்ணி these are all warning signs. அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம அந்த வார்னிங்கை எடுத்துக்கலன்னா அவ்வளோதான், இன்னும் மோசமாக விளைவுகள் இருக்கு போகுது. 500 years Spain had its biggest drought in Spain in 500 years. Germany, there's a river called Rhine River. That's a lifeline of Germany. And so much of transportation goes to that river. Equipment. Last year the river was dry. It was dry. Adithanar, there was so much of economic loss for Germany so every year in India, climate change, Sikkim, cloud burst. Uttarakhand, cloud burst. Delhi was flooded. Flood, Yamuna was flooded in Delhi. Bangalore, deluge. Nagpur, everywhere is Tamil Nadu. Example, Chennai. 2015 we had a strong flood in Chennai, and then recently, last December, we had another big flood. The one word which you are going to be frequently hearing in the days to come is once in a 100-year-old flood, once in a 100-year drought, once in a 100-year storm, once in a 100-year cyclone. Frequent கேட்டுட்டே இருக்க போறீங்க. இந்த வருஷம் once in a 100-year flood கேட்பீங்க. அடுத்த ஒரு 2 வருஷத்துக்கு மறுபடியும் once in a 100-year flood. And this flood is going to be bigger than the next flood. I mean, the last flood. So that word you're going to be frequently hearing. When I was growing up, I used to hear this every 15 years or 20 years. Oh, no, முடி வந்துச்சுப்பா, இவ்வளோ மழை வந்தது இல்லை. இப்போ 2-3 வருஷத்துக்கு ஒரு முறை நான் கேட்டுருக்கேன். And we are going to hear it more frequently. So, okay, what we have to do now? What is the solution for this? Why, again I can reiterate, we are most affected, the women and children. And women and children in the rural areas. Urban level, rural is ரொம்ப மோசமாக. And another concept I just want to digest a little bit here. When you say, like Tamil Nadu, is the most urbanized state in India. So the most urbanized state in India, 52% of Tamil Nadu is urban. All these statistics. But for me, that is not urban. I don't see urbanization as a form of development. I see it's at the opposite level of that. Why a state is getting urbanized here? In a rural area, there is no opportunity, there is no job, there is no employment because there is no water, there is no irrigation, there is no farming, because there is no water because of climate change. So when you say climate refugees is what I can put in English. Climate refugees, because of climate change, people move out. There are temporary refugees, there are permanent refugees. So I see this urbanization is a form of climate refugees now, not as a sign of development. And ஊரில் அவனுக்கு வேலை இல்லை, விவசாயம் இல்லை, எதுவுமே இல்லாதனால அவன் என்ன பண்ணிட்டான், விட்டுட்டு இங்கே வந்துடுறான், சென்னைக்கு வந்துடுறான். இவன் வந்துட்டு menial jobs they just stay somewhere. And then we say urbanization, so கை தட்டிக்கிறோம். True development of state lies in where people, wherever they're living, they need to be there with self-respect, live with self-respect, live with opportunity of employment, have schools, have employment, அங்கேயே வாழ்ந்தாதா, that is the true form of development. So that is where we need to go forward. Coming back, linking urbanization with climate change. Climate refugees is something where, again, the climate refugees are women. Temporary refugees, floods வருது, ஒரு 20 நாள் கேம்ப்ல வச்சிருக்காங்க. ஏன்னா வீடெல்லாம் மூழ்கிடுச்சு. ஏழைக்கு மட்டும் கிடையாது, எல்லாரும் பாதிக்கப்பட்டிருக்காங்க. I know one person who bought a house for 5 crores, 5 கோடி ரூபாய் வீடு வாங்கினான். சென்னை ஃப்ளட்ல 20 நாள் வீட்டுக்குள்ள போக முடியல. எல்லாருக்கும் தான் பாதிப்பு. பணக்கார ஏழைலாம் கிடையாது. Climate change affects everybody. அதனால so that way அந்த ரெஃப்யூஜி கேம்ப்ல யாருக்கு அதிக பிரச்சனை? women. ஏன்னா அங்க இருக்கிற கண்டிஷன்ஸ் இருக்குமா, தங்கறதுக்கு இருக்குமா, சேஃப்டி இருக்குமா, பாத்ரூம் இருக்குமா, all these things. So there are the permanent refugees, for example, Maldives. Recently there have been issues of Maldives. But Maldives is a country, over 50 years இருக்காது. Maldives is only 4 feet high from the mean sea level. Maldives is comprises of 1,200 islands. But the population is about 3.3 lakhs. Chinna country, very country with a little population, but 50 years later you won't see Maldives because of global warming, climate change, rise of sea, ice is melting. In the slide the polar ice, North Pole, South Pole, Arctic, Antarctic ice are melting at a very, very fast pace. Melt pachana, then the sea rises. No, 40-50 வருஷத்துல ஸ்டெல்லா மாரிஸ் பார்த்தா பீச்ல இருக்கும். நீங்க பார்த்தா பீச் தெரியும். 40-50 வருஷம். All this is definitely just possible. We have to think about it. So, mitigation and adaptation is something where we need to do to offset. Offset now it's a Herculean task, but we have to push. So we have to do it. So I have attended a lot of conferences. Recently, COP28 conferences there in Dubai. COP na police is there. COP na committee of parties. The 28th meeting was happening in Dubai. And committee of parties na yarna the world countries there. Affected countries, all countries affected. All countries come every year. They have an agenda. And the last agenda was the 2015 Paris Declaration. Other 196 countries signed and said that by 2030, 43% of emissions will be reduced. By 2035, 60% of emissions will be reduced. By 2050, 100% zero emission. After you were agenda fixed on that, set every year we assemble and then discuss for 2 weeks and then have an agenda and say, adaptation, mitigation, climate finance. Pollution pay, concept of climate finance. Climate resilience, we should show resilience, mitigation, and adaptation. I think down there's going to be so many speakers today, experts they are better equipped than me. They have more knowledge than me in this subject. I would like to leave it to them. Women need to be on the policy agenda. Unfortunately, COP29 meeting in the Azerbaijan. They had an organizing committee. And the organizing committee, there were 28 people in the organizing committee, all 28 are men. There was not even one woman in the organizing committee for COP29 meeting. The first COP meeting was in 1995. Because Rio Summit, 1992 Rio Summit, agenda started. In 1995, the first COP meeting happened. And that is where my organization was founded in 1995, coinciding with the first COP meeting. In the meeting, basic nobody is doing much. They are all still talking, nee pollute pannittirukka, nothing in action. So that is why I want all of you to go there, do something, do your part, so that you can serve, you can save our beautiful earth. Have you heard of Greta Thunberg? From Scandinavia. தண்ணி சின்ன பொண்ணு, அப்போ அதுக்கு வயசு 15 நினைக்கிறேன். 15 வயசுல பார்லிமெண்ட்டுக்கு வெளியில போய் உட்காந்துட்டு தரையில உட்காந்துட்டு போராட்டம் பண்ணிடுச்சு. போலீஸ் அனுமதி கொடுக்கல. But she said, no, I want. She sat in front of the parliament, and then the protesters said that save Earth. And you have polluted my earth, you have spoiled my future, and you have to pay. And because of her now, there are so many global young leaders like you who have come into the concept to create awareness on climate change. I want all of you to be Greta Thunberg, if not more than her. Take the initiative. It is our earth, it is your future, it is our future, and we need to save this beautiful earth. With these words, once again, I'd like to thank respected principal, of course, Dr. Sasita, for inviting me for this wonderful, wonderful initiative. And I would like to applaud her leadership, not only in this climate change, but other issues, sociology, other issues which she has been conducting. And all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Every word of yours made so much sense, and I'm hopeful that our students will take earnest efforts in protecting our Mother Earth. So there are two words to define everything that you spoke about: thought-provoking and insightful, and all of its synonyms make up for what you just talked about. And I finally request our beloved Dr. Maria Agnes Sasita, Head Department of Sociology and Director of Gen Center, to deliver the vote of thanks.